It is 10 o'clock on the East Coast. Special start time tonight. If you're here watching this, you know about that. If you're watching it live, if you're watching this on the replay, tonight is going to be a killer show. And I probably say something like that every week, but here's why. I have invited every guest that's been on the show this year back tonight for an all-star lineup of just the people that have helped me out the most throughout this year, but also an incredible collection of breeders and hobbyists. Man, I just get chills talking about it. Getting these guys all together in one place is just a massive amount of knowledge and experience. Plus, really, tonight's about camaraderie. I don't know how much we're going to stick. We'll stick on talking about ball pythons, don't get me wrong, but tonight would really be kind of like a glimpse into just a green room hangout. So if you got questions, make sure that you leave them in the chat. So far tonight, already confirmed on the show for sure. We got David from BPL Ball Python Love. Angel Caro from Angel Caro Reptiles is here. Jeremy at Warfels Morphs is here. Kai from Lucas Land and Royals, you all know him. Steven at Leviathan Snakes. Mark at 403 Fauna. And Jeremy Baud is in the audience. Maybe we'll get him to click on a little bit later tonight. So anyhow, and we got others. I like to say everybody who's been on the show this year got an invite, and who knows who will show up tonight. So I'm excited. I want y'all to stick around and check this out. And to tell you the truth, I'm not even going to hit the music. We're already rolling. The show's going. Everybody's in the green room hanging out. I wanted to touch base on just a couple little housekeeping things, and then we're going to get to having the guests on. So a couple of weeks ago, when Paul from New Forest Morphs was here, he brought up an idea that he wanted to make a charitable donation and that we were going to do basically a live raffle from the audience members. And when he brought up the idea, I thought it was a great idea and I wanted to match it. So we chose two charities, one from the winner, Courtney and Steven from Leviathan Snakes, and then John at Inquiline was the other raffle winner. And Paul at, again, New Forest Morphs, maybe he'll be able to make it. He's over in the UK. So right now it's currently 3 in the morning. If he says he'll get up around, 4:30 and pop on. We got Joe from Ball Pythons 9 in the audience. Hopefully he's going to come down and jump on the show as well tonight. So Paul made a donation on behalf of Leviathan Snakes to a charity that works with foster children and makes sure that they have a great Christmas or a great holiday, just like most of us get to enjoy. And that is called Together We Rise. So New Forest Morphs helped out Together We Rise. And then today I also made a donation on behalf of John at Inquiline to the EB Research Partnership. Now, EB stands for I've been practicing all afternoon. Epidermolysis bullosa research partnership. And what that condition is where a person doesn't have the proteins necessary in between the layers of their skin to keep their skin attached, and they literally will lose sheets of skin and have wounds that just never heal. Terribly debilitating disease. And John, thank you for bringing that sort of to light for me and for allowing me to be part of that mission to help your friend out who suffers from EB. So I'm real proud of that. Thanks to Paul from New Forest Morphs. Thanks to everybody that participated, and to Leviathan Snakes and Inquiline for pointing us in the right direction on that. Cheers. Thank you. Proud to be able to do that. I hope everybody had a happy Christmas, whatever you might be celebrating. Tonight's about hanging out in camaraderie and enjoying this time. Hopefully everybody's got a hall pass for work tomorrow. If not, hey, who goes to work on this time of year? That's your boss's problem for expecting you in. And I've got some new videos coming out. Otherwise, let's get some friends in here. Let's hang out. Let's see what's going on, everybody. And those of you all that got the invite and the link from me, come on into the queue and we'll get you on. We'll kick some of these others out that start off the show tonight. So let's see. We got David from Ball Python Love. Angel Caro joining the show from up in Tacoma. Yeah,
that's right.
There we go. And then Jeremy up in Pennsylvania at Warfels Morphs. And you guys know Kai from New Jersey and Steven in South Carolina at Leviathan Snakes. And Steven, you are muted, man. You get to speak, man.
I'm so used to Teams calls. I'm sitting over here like on mute to begin with. So I hope everybody's
cheers, everybody.
Yeah.
No real rules tonight. We'll loosen it up a little bit, but try and maybe PG-13-ish it. So heads up to those watching. If you usually watch with your family, we will probably have some beverages, and it might be a little looser than usual, but we'll try and keep it mostly on brand tonight. So, how's everybody's holiday? Y'all enjoying yourselves?
Quick question.
Yeah.
If we're PG-13, that means we get like one F-bomb. So
but is it each or is it for the whole episode? Yeah, that's the what is that Get Shorty movie? Like, when are they going to use it? We got to have an incredible moment for it. That's what we'll say. Anybody getting any new snakes for the holidays?
Not me.
I can't say that I got a new one. I didn't buy it. It was
Tell us about it. It's a cool snake. I saw it, man.
So, genetic stripe, yellow belly, orange dream male. Probably is a month old. Would not eat for the dude. He freaked out. Gave it to me. He just frozen thawed though. I do live feedings, of course, and then I threw a live one in. Took that shit like that. By the way, I mean I can't say, like, we can't censor the S word because that's like my. You watch my live feeding videos. Got that.
So the guy gave up on his hatchling.
I want to say it's a little bit older than a month. Yeah, dude. Like, I honestly, I think it's like, honestly, I think he lied to me a little bit. I don't think it's a month old. I think it's probably like around more like 2.5. But it looks pretty bad, dude. You can see the spine and all that, like, when I first got it, and I was like disappointed. So once again, I left him alone probably for like 10 hours once I got here, put him in, quarantine, and then threw a live rat in there, and he went right for it. It didn't take not much time. So,
man, that's fantastic. Sorry, I made a big little bang. I know I saw your face there, Kai, when I moved my microphone. I'm trying to isolate who's got the echo. I'm gonna find it.
It's not me and see if it's me.
Well, let's check real quick. So test. No, it's still there. It's not you. Check one. No, not Angel. Who's next? Sorry, Jeremy. Maybe it's you. Check.
Nope.
Kai. Oh, it's Kai. Are you using your laptop speakers and your earbuds, or is everything through the earbuds? Oh, you can't speak. I muted you. I'm sorry.
Poor guy.
It's just through my earbuds.
That sounds better.
Is this better?
Okay, that's better.
Is it? Okay. I didn't do anything.
That's still there a little bit. All right. Well, we'll see what the audience says. If it becomes too distracting, we'll ship Kai off.
Yeah, you might have to just.
David, how did that guy find it? How did you touch that guy?
So I know a few local breeders here that don't do like social media and all that. One I bought 3 from. That one I just got the donation, and I bought 2 from 2 different people that I knew that were into ball pythons that were like breeding, but like kind of fell out of it. And I bought a few of theirs when they fell out. That's how I got a few of mine. But hey man, I mean, shit. If you feel like your passion's gonna die and you live nearby, I'll buy something I like.
Hey, I'm completely with you. There was somebody in the local Jacksonville group. Man, I wish Tradesman was. Tradesman, if you're in the audience watching, there's somebody in Jacksonville. He's got a breeder. It's a normal breeder female, and the guy was just exasperated. He's like, it's 4 years old. I just want it out of the house by the time the new year comes. If there's a good home for it, you could just have it. And I'm like, I got a full rack, man. I don't want to just have it right now. I was real close to picking that one up. But, I mean, somebody's got to pick that up, I think. But it's the same thing with an albino. I mean, they're out there. People come and go all the time.
Yep.
Kai, you're on probation. All right, let's try it now.
Is this better?
I mean, it
Oh.
sounds good to me.
Is it better?
Oh, okay. All right. You're like Rudolph. Now you get to play in the reindeer games. You're in now. Okay.
All right, cool.
Kai's never going to come back again.
Kai's next video is anti-proper oils.
Kai's next video to his 4,000 subscribers is go shit on Adam.
No, don't worry about that. I don't actually hear any. Was it bad? Was it like a really bad echo, or?
There's a little
bit of a 60 cycle hum coming through every now and again as well. I wonder if
Still?
I don't know. No, it just pops up time to time. It's clean though
There's
now.
no echo.
All right, I try not to move.
That's
You gotta
going to be
get
rough.
your tin for it. You're missing the yeah.
Did anybody
It's
sell any Christmas snakes to other people?
We did two. We sold 2 snakes. So somebody had contacted us on Morph Market. We've had a banana pastel, just a banana pastel had albino male, nothing crazy. That's been on hold for 2 different people, and they both did like their deposits. Oh, is that me?
No, there's that hum again. That 60
Oh.
cycle came through again. It's like a fluorescent light with a guitar pickup. That's what it sounds like to me.
So we got this banana pastel head albino male. He was on hold with somebody. They paid the deposit. We do like a non-refundable deposit, all that stuff if they go on hold. And they end up deciding that they didn't have enough room for him, so they didn't get him. He immediately went on hold again because people really, really like bananas as pets. And that person also ended up not going through with it. And then as soon as he came off hold, somebody else on Morph Market got a hold of us and was like, hey, can we get him? And then they actually lived like an hour-ish away, so they came and picked him up. And then there was another one that we met at the show we vended back in September, and they had met us there, but they didn't buy a snake from us, and their son wanted a snake, and they got him one for Christmas. So they came and picked it up then. So
Right on.
Yeah. How do you feel about when people give away snakes as a pet, as a present?
So I feel like we were actually like talking about doing a video for it, but we didn't record it before Christmas. I think that giving a snake as a present, except for maybe that situation, because it's parents buying it for a child.
Yeah.
I don't think that they make good like gifts because it's like you're adding on responsibility to somebody. And unless the person like specifically wants it, I'm kind of like if I give a gift to somebody, I don't want to make them have to do extra work unless they like specifically said that they wanted that thing.
Yeah, if somebody doesn't know a live animal's coming their way, that needs a little thought, I think.
So I got a question, not to change the subject over here, but I got a question for you, Adam. What started your whole live streams, man? You
and Josue, man. I swear to God. So there's a little bit more to it, but I was, to get really nerdy on this kind of the cycle of YouTube life, I go through these like moments of real creativity and productivity, and I'm banging out videos. Like right now, I've got 3 already made that I'm going to space out over the next 2-3 weeks. But then there's weeks that'll go by where I'm like, what am I going to produce? I got to keep going. And it feels like YouTube punishes you if you don't. And, we're all driven people. If we got the patience to work through ball python projects, like I've got an end goal in mind that I want to work towards. And the other problem that I was facing, which is reversed now, is that my subscribers were on they were at an incredible pace, but compared to my hours, I was never going to get monetized because my hours weren't keeping up with my subscribers. So I was on a pace where per hours per subscriber. I was going to need like 3,000 subscribers. Hey, let me say hey to Tags real quick. Tags, you're from Instagram, and thank you, man. I recognize you. Thanks for coming. I think it's the first time I've seen you at the show. And I always wonder if people on Instagram will link over from there to here. So thanks for being here. So anyhow, I was like, man, I got to try something else and try something new. And with the show and with guests, I mean, as you know, Dave, you do tons of shows. My God, some weeks you're on 7 nights a week. Like you do shit ton of shows, man. And that's a whole different topic is how the hell you keep up with that. But I do once a week. But what I found was I could prepare learning about the guest rather than coming up with brand new, interesting content off the top of my head. And then it grew, man. This thing has snowballed really well. And now my hours are outpaced. I'm going to hit literally today, if we got 20 watchers, like if we get 20 people averaging, 30 to 45 minutes viewing throughout the whole span of the show, I'll hit my 4,000 hours tonight.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. But I still have 120 subscribers to go. So it's all backwards. Plug in the audience. Any of you watching, for Pete's sake, please, I'm close now. It's pretty cool. So I'm projecting end of January to hit 1,000 subscribers and have my 4,000 hours, which is cool.
For me, it's opposite, man. Like I do go live a lot. I'm well over 4,000 hours. I just don't have the subscribers. I still have I think 468 was the last time. 568 is the last time I checked, and that was just like yesterday. So
and it'll, it's like everybody says it'll come. And I think you and I both, we talk to enough people, like hitting the magic monetize doesn't mean we're rich. Like it's like I hear people talk about $8 or $12 a month kind of thing, but it's just it's a goal, it's a benchmark I want to get to, but it also will free me up a little bit. Like right now I feel a pressure to produce for the sake of trying to get subscribers versus producing content just because I'm totally, passionate about it kind of thing. But yeah, if those of you that don't know, David and a guy named Josue had a show that was, my God, it was 7 nights a week. You guys you had to do 100 episodes in a row, I think. Maybe you got more. I don't know. And I know that ended, and we don't have to get into why it ended. I don't know why it ended. I can imagine you burned out a little bit. But you guys were kind enough to have me on a couple times. And then I was like, you know what? What do I have to lose? Like, even if I had bombed, what did I have to lose? All right, just delete the videos and it's gone, So I had nothing to lose to try it out. And Steven was a really big help getting it off the ground. And then obviously all of you that were guests on the show hooked it up for me this year.
Now get it, man. I'm super excited for you. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you all.
No, so
being on here is what led me to putting out that little shout out to everybody on how starting next year, I'm going to start doing lives as well now, just because it was nice. Super enjoyable. It's like I loved it.
I had a good time. I think I had a blast. Like we talked about a lot of stuff.
So, question for you guys: do you primarily, whenever you do lives? I know Adam, like your show's on YouTube. Do you guys primarily do YouTube? Do you do any lives on Instagram, Facebook? And if you guys do multiple ones, why do you pick the platform for each?
I guess I only do YouTube. I don't do IG. I went live, I think maybe 2 to 4 times on IG. It just, I don't know. I can get people in there. It's not that. It's just, I don't know. It just feels different. On YouTube, I feel like I'm actually, I don't know, like before, like that's the whole reason I changed up the show. I had the BPL show. Now it's the BPL 2.0 show. Like I revamped everything. I'm getting guests that are like, I don't know. I've only used YouTube though. Yeah, to answer that. So
I think I like YouTube better because I really like the idea of doing like all the different like skins and layouts and like having all that stuff. One thing that I like a lot about Instagram is like how they like pop up right there at the very top of your like page. So that way you see like some of your followings live. I feel like that we get more people. who join in, but I like the YouTube setup better. I feel like it's also, they seem to be easier to find than like after you do them.
Yeah, and it also seems to be like Instagram's a mix of still pictures, shorts, some stories, versus you, like the live video fits into the video format of YouTube for me.
Yep.
And I'm biased because I was already well into the YouTube, spiral or snowball or whatever you want to call it before I ever even started on Instagram. So I already had far more momentum on YouTube. So that's really why I've stuck with it. And I have a fun time. And I got to tell y'all one thing as well. And Angel made me think of it when you all made me think of it. YouTube has provided a way for me to find mentorship that I would never have been able to in rural North Carolina, or honestly, even here in Jacksonville. I mean, Jacksonville has 1 million people, and yeah, there's ball python breeders all over the place here. But how to connect with them is just a anybody's guess. When this weekly, yeah, you're guests on my show, but I think every one of you have more experience than I do with ball pythons. So I get kind of free clinic. It's like a rock star sitting in with me on stage. Like, hell yeah, you could come sit in. Like, go rip a solo, man. I'm going to sit back and watch, And so we hear about mentors and people helping each other out. This was my vehicle to be like, all right, here's how I'm going to get people to help me out. We're going to have a stage, and I'll take the lessons publicly. And it's been really cool that way. And I know you all don't sort of purposefully realize that, but it's been a huge, huge help to me. I couldn't list all the things I've been helped out with on here if I wanted to. I get millions of little ideas along the way. Again, David, whether it was just from being a guest on your show to like, I'm going to do a show, to whatever little details I learned from all of you,
But it's like when we were talking last time, we had the whole discussion, the differences of 20 years ago to now. If YouTube was around 20 years ago and somebody did this, would it have been as toxic? If Instagram was around 20 years ago, would it have been as toxic? Would it have been as toxic as it was back then? It's different now, and I think people I think people want to reach out and talk to people. I think people want to reach out and say, hey, I saw your video, I saw your Instagram post, that's really awesome. They want to congratulate people, or they want to help them. If someone's, struggling with a snake with stuck shed or an egg-bound female, you reach out because you have experience with it. So if you've been around for 10, 15, 20, whatever it is, even if you've been around for 5 years and you had an egg-bound female and you got through that, if you have some, or anything, whatever it is, and you have experience, you see someone needs, or I don't know if they need it, but so you can offer your help and say, hey, I've been there, I've seen that, I've done it.
Or people know who to reach out to. That guy that David picked up a snake from, if he had seen that any one of us or any one of us that have done an assist feeding, he might not have given up on his snake so fast or been so overwhelmed on it. It's not the first thing you want to go do. But man, he didn't even try feeding it live. Like you can't be breeding snakes and give up like that. That's not. Oof.
And once again, if you're near me and you're willing to give up, I will gladly give my number. Hit me up anytime. I'll take whatever I like. And if I don't like it, I'm sorry.
No, I'm glad you were able to pick them up. I know you care for your snakes, man. So. Yeah.
I just want to say I'm sorry, Jeremy. I jumped in right there. I'm sorry.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Cut you off there. Sorry about that.
I was just saying that with my clutch, I had produced my Orange Dream Bumblebee. I reached out to Kai because of watching all of his videos and stuff. I thought it's like Kai knows his stuff, so I've reached out to him. It's like, dude, I need help figuring out what's in these babies because I'm partially colorblind. So I was like, am I seeing orange in this, or And Kai helped me out big time with that clutch.
I think some of us, I know I do. I like when people reach out and they're like, hey, what do you think of this? Or I was thinking of getting this or that, or whatever. They have a question about something. I enjoy it. That's why I like doing shows. I had a show a couple of weeks ago, and it's the first show I've done in like 2 years. And it was a 2-day show. It was a local show. And aside from doing well and all around, and I mean well all around, as far as like the interactions, the amount of people that were there, the people that showed up and so on, the vendors and everything, and not even in a monetary aspect. I think everybody did well because it was nice to just be out and talk to people again, or for me, that's how it felt. Cause like I said, it had been 2 years and it was great, and, they had a limited amount of people that they were letting in at a time. And I think that was good too. Not just because of what's going on, but there's not that rushed feeling of when you get to a table.
That's a good
5
point.
people there, people that were coming to I felt like there was a really nice flow, and I was able to talk to a group of people here, a couple of people here, some people were checking out some animals here. And I had a really good friend, my friend Tucker was there from Purple Rain Reptiles. He was there and he really helped me out. And it was a good flow of people because people were like shifting through, but they weren't feeling rushed. And I don't like that because I can talk all day and I like talking to people, but I want you to feel comfortable when you come, and I don't want you, to feel, and I'll call people over and so on. But I think it was just a really good feeling. And right now, I think in the industry and everything that's going on, everything is online and so on. So for me, doing shows, I love doing shows. I absolutely love doing shows. If I could do a show a week, I would. I totally would. And if you haven't done a show yet, just do it. Just go do your first show.
Well, I need more hashtags to do a show.
I hope this platform provides, whether it's mine or David's show or Jeremy's going to get one going. I think, Steven, you were talking about starting a show. I think this platform can provide some of that camaraderie that either we're missing out on shows because of pandemic stuff, or just the fact is you might get 3-4 shows in your immediate local area a year. Otherwise, you're traveling quite a lot, and that this is something we can do weekly or nightly or however long. So I enjoy this. Guys, here's the odd part. We're at about 30 minutes, and we got Mark waiting in the queue. I got to get Mark in. So
I will pop up.
You sure?
Yeah, it's totally cool. I got to go anyway. It's bedtime, family time.
I want to, next time we talk, I want to hear about your plans. You said you're moving east. I think it was in the green room to start with. How are you going to get your collection east? That's the next time we meet. We're going to talk about that. All right. When are you moving?
All right. Sometime next year, later on, probably.
Okay, cool. So we got time. So come back in 2022. Absolutely. We always got more to talk about. Angel, Happy New Year. Best to you and your family.
Happy New Year to everybody. And one last thing, everybody, have a great, safe New Year. And also, US ARC, support US ARC. All right. Everybody have a good one.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, man.
Have a good one.
Coming up next, we got Mark over at 403 Fauna.
Tagged in.
Hi, Mark.
What's up, guys?
If y'all haven't seen Mark's channel before, first and foremost, go check it out. It's the numbers 403 and Fauna. And just from a personal standpoint, I think you can really see Mark's passion for what he does for his animals, but also for his students. He's a teacher, and this day and age is not easy. Even if there wasn't COVID, then you throw that on top. So thanks for what you do. I love that we're friends here, and I love that you're on our show. And I love that you were a customer of mine. I hope I've always treated you well and with appropriate gratitude, because that stuff is not taken for granted. So welcome, Mark. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. Your snakes are doing great, by the way. Thanks again.
Awesome, dude. It's so fun seeing your videos. So actually tell the story. You got 2 snakes. One's in a different place than the others, and you made some videos about it. Tell us about them.
Yeah. So initially, I commented on one of your videos that I don't have any Orange Dream in my collection yet. And of course you hatched them out. So we talked a little bit about that. And then I mentioned, I was looking at your morph market and I saw the bananas that you had. And I did have a banana, but not very much in my collection yet. So I was more interested in the banana than the Orange Dream at that time. But then you made me a great deal on both of them. And
yeah,
the Orange
that's
Dream.
Right. It was fast. It was like too easy. I was like, man, I should have made that number higher. No, it was really cool. It was all total transparency. Mark purchased an animal that was not cheap from me, and that's totally relative, and we'll keep that private. But he committed to buying one, And I had some others that were possible hets, which I really can't bring myself to charge for the possibility of a het. Plus, he's a good guy supporting my channel, and I forget what it was, but it wasn't much more, and we worked it out pretty quick, and I was able to get him 2 snakes that I knew he would enjoy, and I was happy to do that. He'd helped me out quite a bit as well.
It's called upsell, right?
It is called it. Yeah, you got to, you're at Smirnoff. I got to get you up to the goose, man. That's where we're gonna put you right over the top there, So, and then tell us some of the projects you're working on. Hey, cheers, man. Tell us some of the projects you're working on. You've been up in your game on your pickups too, man.
Yeah. So we finally got a nice storm here in San Diego. So I was able to.
And you're only one a year, right?
Yeah, and I've had some young males in the 600-700 gram range, 2020, that haven't quite gotten it going yet. And with the storm that just came in, finally I got one of my kryptons to go. So
did they lock?
Yeah.
Nice, congratulations. Also, let's see, Chuck, Laughing Boy, Chuck and Anna, they got. Speaking of a deal, I don't know if they think it was a deal. It was a deal for me. They took 3 of the Orange Dream siblings off my hands as well. The siblings to yours, Mark. So that's Laughing Boy 82. That's Chuck and Anna. And I think they're in Pennsylvania too, if I recall correctly. So it'd be cool to see how they all grow up and what proves out and all that kind of thing. I was joking with Kai. Sorry, I'll get you to say. I was joking with Kai really briefly on a messaging one day. I said, I'm not monetized yet. And then I was like, you know what? I sold a bunch of snakes on YouTube. So maybe I did. Oh, no, I was joking. I didn't hit a pied, but I traded one of my hatchlings for a visual pied. So in that way, I did hit a pied this year. But so I'm not monetized on YouTube, but I am selling snakes on YouTube. And the people are here in this audience, which is killer. So, David, what's up, man?
Question for Jeremy and Steven. So when you do start your live streams going and all that, what is, curious, the name that you're going to use for your live stream?
Oh, good grief. Yeah, who knows? It took me forever to come up with a slogan, let alone a live stream name. I don't know. I almost thought like a play off of the Power Rangers. You know how they had the morphin time? I was going to call it Warful Time. I don't know.
That works.
For us, so our thing is we've been Adam, when he first started his show, had asked if we wanted to do it we were co-hosts for it. And I was like, we're too busy right now. We can't do it because it's school, work, family, ball pythons, all of that stuff. It's we can't commit to doing it weekly. And then we were on a couple of episodes, and it was super fun. It was super cool. And then watching all of you guys on it, too, it was super fun and super cool. And it's oh, man, I really want to do it. But we still don't have much time, so we keep pushing it back on when we're going to start it. Because we want to do it, because it's so cool and it's so much fun. And we just, Adam inspired us. You've inspired us, Dave. It's super cool, but we just don't have enough time right now. So, but actual answer, most likely we would probably just have it as Leviathan Snakes, just for maintaining a consistent brand across all of it.
Okay.
Yeah, so the idea is oh, did you tune into if we did end up doing it, which right now we don't have a date for it, did you tune into Leviathan Snakes show? And it's just continual branding every time somebody says it.
What's funny is I don't think most people know that story. So I had talked to Stephen and Courtney. I met them. We met somehow going into the Daytona show.
I think it was YouTube comments or something. I don't know what it was, but yeah.
We discovered we were both going to the Daytona show, and it was a cool interaction, kind of hit it off and that sort of thing. And we had talked about doing a show, and yeah, Stephen's got a baby on the way. He's building these extra rooms. He's working on a doctorate degree. This guy is he's busy. And I remember being first I was thankful that you told me ahead of time and didn't bail on me afterwards. That's the only thing worse than somebody bailing on you ahead of time. But I was at first I was shoot, what am I going to do? But in retrospect, it actually is provided incredible freedom to meet a ton of other people, because now instead of you and I finding guests and maybe either I don't know what we would have done. We never talked about concept, just trying to run ours. But the point being, it was just a great lesson for me. Like, okay, things change. Just find a different answer. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is. And that led to all these different hosts or guests and some solo shows that I never thought I would do either, that actually were pretty cool. One of them went really well. The other was like kind of felt like pulling teeth, but I got through them, you know?
That to me is the worst.
What's that?
Good. I was just gonna say that's the worst to me personally when you got to go solo. Like
it's hard.
That's rough right there.
It's hard.
What were you gonna say, Jeremy?
Jeremy, it's you.
Oh, I was gonna say the one thing I think like right now with all the live streams that I do follow as it is, it's picking a time slot that's not taken that actually works.
So here's what I would say on that, Jeremy. You're always going to run up against somebody. There's too many of them out there. But I get a ton of views on the rewatches and the follow-up. So if you notice on I don't know if it works for me. I don't know if it could be done better. Somebody else might have more experience. If you notice on my titles and my descriptions, I always pick some topic, even if we only touch on that topic for a moment, so that it's searchable. And when somebody searches for the topic that comes up, that's a dog. That's a serious dog. And then they can watch it, you know? So like tonight, just saying general hangout, I don't even know if I probably will leave it listed. Or leave it viewable. No big deal. But we didn't have a specific topic for tonight, but I still tried to make it searchable. I think I put something about 2021 recap. Oh no, I put 13 ball python breeders. That's what I put. So if somebody is searching ball python breeders and then they find a live show, oh shit, it says there's 13 of them. I'm going to go check that out. I try and make them searchable and have like a episode topic each time. And it does do fairly well. That one that I did with Paul is still just cranking out the hours. That's crazy how much that one with New Force Morphs is going.
That's awesome. One quick thing, just shameless self-promotion real quick, since
Please.
There's 2 lives that are coming up. So Sunday, we're going live on IG with Brad Boa Reptiles talking about the Sunset Project. We're super, super excited about that. There's a funny story on that kind of like what all happened with it. And on Tuesday, we're going live with Adam. So
nice.
We are. Our show on Tuesday. Here's Paul. Paul, what is it? Paul, why don't you click the link and come on the show? Paul's here. It is, Paul, is it 3:40 in the UK in the morning? You vampire. Thank you for joining. Click the link that I emailed to you if you want to come check it out, or if you want to come join the show, Paul. If you're just rolling out of bed in your pajamas, then that's up to you if you want to. He says he's sleeping commando style. All right, you're going to you made a commitment. This will be PG-13, and
at least put the Santa robe on.
Hey, Paul, I did let everybody know at the top of the show that you and I were able to make those charitable contributions today. Thanks to John and Stephen and Courtney for including us in those giving opportunities this year. Anyhow, and everybody check out New Force Morphs if you haven't seen Paul's channel. Speaking of getting monetized, he's close. He's at like 930, 940. So get that guy some subs and push him over. But Steven and I will go live next Tuesday. So we'll keep the streak alive. I didn't think that I was going to do a show tonight because I have my in-laws coming in the morning. I thought they were getting here tonight. And then I was like, well, here we go. Let's go do this. But yeah, next Tuesday, speaking of topics, me and Steven and Courtney will do the first show of 2022 together on Proper Royals Live. And I think we're going to talk about it offline a little bit, but I think we're going to lay out our goals for ourselves for 2022 and then have a little bit of like accountability buddies through the year. You know, life's always a little bit easier when you got somebody knocking at your door, making sure you're keeping up your goals. Kai, you've been sitting back, taking it all in. You gotta give us some wisdom here.
I don't do lives. I don't know, have any wisdom on experience with lives. I have like my friends who have a channel, you know, that maybe around like 5,000, 6,000 subs. At that point, they decided to have podcasts, and then they said that they lost a bunch of subs because I guess their viewers just weren't used to that. So I just don't do lives. It's also hard for me to have the time because I know you asked me to be a co-host on your channel as well at one point, and like I said, I just didn't have the time to do that. I still don't have the time. I just find having the recorded one much easier to just do that on my own time, and then I would just publish them, you know, on a scheduled time once a week.
Adams pretty much asks everyone to be a co-host but BPL because BPL gets his mouth in trouble a lot of the times.
This is not this is like two people that just happen to be here. Nobody else is going to pop up and be like, oh, yeah, I turned Adam down too. No, it was, hey, Jay, if you're still there, Happy New Year, brother. I'll see you in a couple weeks when I head out there. All right, then let's get off of that topic for a minute then. Yeah, awkwardly, let's go. I got a little mute button right down here if you don't want to. Kai, I wrote out some questions earlier. What was your best, what was your like best crowning moment for 2021? Whether it be like your best snake or your best, I don't know, your best achievement on your channel or your brand, or what sticks out for you? What was the best snake you made this year?
For me, I would have to say the Black Pastel Cypress Pied.
Black Pastel Cypress Pied. All right.
Yeah, I made two of them. One of them was what I expected it to look like, and then the other one is just like, I don't know what to make of it, except that it has to be the Black Pastel Cypress Pied, I guess.
Right.
So yeah, that was a really strange looking one. Like I said, it wasn't something that I expected, but I don't know what else it could be.
I should have started in a different order because you're going to kick all of our asses, but we're going to go around on this. Steven, what about you, man? Included.
Best snake the snake that I'm most excited about that we made was our banana blade clown female. Nothing like super like crazy, but it was the first clown clutch that we had, and it was our first visually recessive one. We were supposed to have one other visual recessive clutch earlier than that. It was a banana leopard pastel het albino male to a visual albino female, 7 eggs, no visuals at all. So we also got him before we were like really knew what we were doing when we were buying snakes. So we actually like calculated the probability of it, and the chances that he is actually het albino paired to a visual albino, each egg should have had a 50% chance. There were 7 eggs. It's 1 in 128 that he actually is.
Right.
So it's possible, but not probable. And that bummed us out. And I think that it made me be like, oh, you always hear about people selling hets that aren't actually hets. Like, what if this happened again? And then when we hit the clowns, I was so excited. Excited.
Yeah. That minor point is another reason I really like having a YouTube channel, is that I could show the history of my pairings and at least say, look, at some point you are going to have to take somebody on faith in their brand and what their brand means, but at least I can show either I'm going through an incredibly complicated charade to pull off a BS het to you, or this animal's het, you know? So, Mark, did you have clutches this year or not yet?
I did have one clutch. I'm kind of like the fledgling here.
No, that's right. You did have one.
No.
You have one killer little animal, dude. He's awesome.
Yeah, I hatched a yellow belly female and a black pastel calico yellow belly. So
that black pastel calico yellow belly is a killer, by the way.
Thank you.
And then, all right, so what do you got coming in 2022? Because I know you've been stockpiling some killer animals. What are you looking most forward to?
I have a fire VPI Xanthic that just locked with an Enchi clown, so going for those double hets.
Get it.
Ooh, so you get an Enchi fire double het offspring, fairly common. You should get like 25% of those.
Hopefully, yeah.
Woo-hoo. We might have to do a little trade. I think you said you were looking for something I might be producing. Okay. All right. I got my list.
Yeah.
My wife's going to be like, what happened to all the snakes? I thought you were going to be profitable. And I'm like, yeah, I was trading everything up. Jeremy, what'd you have come out of the eggs this year?
I have to take two for my favorites.
Okay.
For my favorite as like just awesome color wise would have to be my Orange Dream Bumblebee that I made.
Oh, nice.
But as far as the most genes, it would have been my pastel, GHI, banana, Mojave that I produced. And that one there, I'm still trying to figure out what color she is because I'm partially colorblind, like I've said before. And some days I see pink, other days I see lavender, and then I see like a grayish pinky color. So I don't know what color she is.
You got to actually, would you mind sending me some shots of your, do you have any just banana Mojaves, or do they all have other stuff in them?
I had one banana Mojave. Actually, it was a banana Pastavi. I had one, but she was actually sold before she even hatched.
Oh, nice.
I had a waiting list on my banana clutch, and basically after I took my pick of what I wanted, they were gone.
Good for you.
I do have pictures of that one though. I can send you, but
yeah, you mind sending one over just when you get a chance? Will you mind sending one over? Because that's a pairing that I have coming up for this year. And it's Het Ghost to Visual Ghost as well in there. So I should have ghost and non-ghost versions of that coming out. So I'd love to take just a closer look.
Yeah,
and then
no problem.
Dave, what was your favorite pickup this year? I know you're not breeding yet by choice, but you're not happy to be, you don't want to be breeding yet. So what's your favorite pickup of this year?
So everybody knows the reason why I didn't breed is because I breed my own rats. I don't pay for them. So I'm trying, and right now my rats are booming, so I'm doing great. So this coming season, I am doing my pastel 100% het clown to my clown male. That's going to be my biggest one. Hopefully hit some clowns, at least a few. I'm thinking about doing my pied, normal pied 100% het orange ghost to another orange ghost pied to hopefully produce some orange ghost pieds. That'd be pretty dope.
You have a ghost pied, or it's a het ghost on a pied?
Orange ghost. Orange ghost. Sorry.
You have an orange ghost pied?
OG? No, he's het. The one I plan on picking up is still available. I just haven't had the time to go and really do anything with it to go pick it up.
Right.
I just started a new job. It's been crazy. Yeah, shit's been happening.
There's no shame in life happening, man. Everybody only gets to see our YouTube videos on our lives, and we're just like always hanging out with snakes. What they don't know is that we, as far as I know, every person in this room works a job to fund this hobby / business. So for me, my favorite keeper is actually a little male. He's just beautiful. It's like you were talking about, Jeremy. He's a banana het clown, and he's definitely got pastel in him. But then there's something else going on in my clown and my banana female, and he's got oranges, pinks, purples. I mean, he's just. I was editing a video today that I'm showing kind of his progression from hatchling to where he is now, and he's only 90 days old, but he's incredible. I'm looking forward to breeding him quickly and seeing what's going on. I'll probably breed him back to his mom next season, actually. I've got a similar female, although she has something totally different going on. She's like a chocolate lavender and like a pudding color banana. Unbelievable. And then what I was alluding to with Kai, I guess if I were to pick like my favorite, it's a combination of one I produced and one I picked up. There was a local guy here in Jacksonville, really, really good dude that I actually got to meet and spend a little bit of time getting to know. He wanted a hatchling that I produced, a hatchling female, banana het clown. And I offered that snake to him for a pied het albino that Kai had produced 4 years ago and sold to that guy. And now I got him. So that was my joke. I didn't hit any visual pieds in my clutches, but I turned a hatchling into a visual pied breeder. So why not? And he's breeding now. And it was really.
Oh, is he?
What's that?
So what?
Oh, he is breeding to my female double het albino het pied.
Oh, nice.
Yes. I mean, I think the odds owe me from this past year. Maybe I'll hit a pied albino.
Yeah, definitely possible.
I can hope, right?
Definitely possible. I think what's the odds? 1 in 8, right?
Well, yeah.
So you only need 8 eggs.
Yeah, I know, but I only had 1 in 4, and I had 7, and I missed on all 7 of those. So yeah, maybe I'll get 2. Maybe I'll get 2, and that's how it'll be made up, and the world will be set back in proper balance. According to Adam. So that is a great snake, man. And did you bred that one for a little while yourself, didn't you, Kai, before you sold it?
Yeah. I think the one that you got, I originally thought was female.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kept 2 from that clutch. I kept the male and what I thought was a female. And later on, I found out both of them were males. So I was using both of them, alternating both of them with the other females I had in my collection.
Yeah.
So I don't know which one actually sired the clutch, but they're both the same. They're both pied het albinos. I
gotcha. And they he's a great looking snake. I love
the oranges. You like the oranges on the side?
It is beautiful, man.
I know, right?
Yeah. I mean, I wish I had him out right now. He's just now getting still kind of used to the rhythms here in my room and when I feed and all that. So I usually don't pull him out at the nighttime, but yeah, he's got a really hell of a lot of orange and yellow to him on the sides, man. Like I want to get him into my Orange Dream Pied projects.
Yeah, that was like my very first, or maybe my very second clutch. Definitely first pied clutch. So I wasn't really sure what they were supposed to look like. Obviously, I know there was a pied, but you hear about pied browning out with age. So, they came out super, super orange and bright. And I just thought that was just the way they are until some friends came over that are breeders as well. And they're like, is it het for something? Is it het for this? Is it het for that? I was like, I don't know. It's just het for albino. And, they stayed nice and orange. The other one, I think I sold last year. So they're both gone. But I have a couple double visuals now. So the double visuals replaced the pied het albino.
Right. Yeah. It's time to pass them on then. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dave?
Yo, so I've been going almost an hour with you. So sadly, this is where Ball Python leaves. But before I leave, though, I got a question for every single one of you, including Adam. And you know what? The only one that knows this question, to be honest with you, is probably Steven and Jeremy a little bit from last night. But here's your question. If you could all give me an answer, that'd be awesome for everybody that is watching. If there's something positive you could leave behind to somebody that is watching right now, regardless if it's 5 years, 10 years, right now, tomorrow, I don't care. If you could leave something behind positive to get them into the reptile community, what would it be? Starting with you, Jeremy, and we'll go all the way around 403. And then once again, Steven already answered. Can't use his wife's answer because she answered for him. Kai and Adam.
I would have to say, no matter what life throws at you, don't give up. You're going to have ups and downs in the hobby, and you're going to have curveballs thrown at you. Just keep on trucking along, and as long as you keep on going at it, you'll prevail.
Jeremy stole mine, but I'll go ahead and sorry. Do what you can to help promote the hobby and promote your passion for what you do. Whether that's making a YouTube or posting pictures on Instagram, share your passion with others out there.
All right, so I'm going to do one that's different because I almost always, Courtney, did she say something about like, don't forget pet owners on hers? I don't remember exactly what she had said.
She said for the love. Like she was like, it was something about being happy about having the snakes, like instantly.
And I'm not going to do a marketing one because that's what I always do. I'll do, if somebody's watching this 5 years from now and it's just like a piece of advice if you're just getting in, I would say, like everybody talks about having like a plan and like knowing where you want to go. I think be selective on the animals that you buy. Don't just buy animals because it's a good deal or because it's just pretty. Like it, make sure everything works for it. Works towards your vision.
Yeah, I mean, I have something that's kind of similar to what Steven said. It's just be true to yourself. Buy animals that you really like to look at. Buy with your eyes, and don't just buy what's popular or what everybody else is talking about, because that's going to change. So buy what you like, because you're going to be looking at it for like the next 5-10 years.
I would say I'll go a little bigger, kind of a macro feel. Like this hobby teaches you patience and almost calmness and serenity. Nothing goes fast in the hobby other than the sales. Like if you see something you want, you better get it because it's going to be gone. But if you have a hectic life and you need a breather and you need something to focus on that will require your attention and you can close out some of the other parts of life, that's what it's been really beneficial to me. The other thing I'll say is look how cool this is. Like there's people from all over the country, all over the world. We're international in the audience, all different colors, backgrounds, beliefs. Nothing political has come up. Nothing, who knows? All of that crap gets left at the door. And it's been a really, really healthy experience for me. I've heard some other people not have the most healthy experiences, but I've never experienced anything but a great experience. And I really don't go through life thinking that everything's about love and peace and karma and all of that for me. And so to experience it and to truly believe that is a really cool thing, and to experience it and not have to worry about some of the drama that just comes with everyday interaction. It's really nice to find in snakes, man. Like that's killer. So there's what I would say about getting in and what I'm thankful for all of it.
Well, I love all the answers. They're amazing. And honestly, pretty much just to nail every piece of it, do what you love. Don't stop your passion because someone says you can't do something. Someone says you can't have this. You're not going to produce that. This ain't going to happen. Don't stop. Do you. Don't worry about what other people around you are doing. Do you. But I am Ball Python Love. Hopefully you guys catch me tomorrow with Precious Pythons. But until then, I'm out. Hey, Adam, much love, dude. Appreciate you.
Likewise. Thank you.
Catch you later, David.
We'll do it again soon, David. Thank you, man. Later. Cheers, man.
So I have a question for everybody, right. Kind of like what David did. I don't know if you have one prepared, or I don't want to throw off any schedule. I know we're just kind of talking, or if anybody else wants to talk.
Oh no, we're wide open now. Yeah.
Okay.
We are.
Question is for 2022 for everybody, and like I'll answer it too. Is there any changes that you are planning on making to anything about like your operation? It could be like dealing with snakes. It could be dealing with marketing. It could just be anything like that. If it's new facilities, I know that people were talking about, I think Angel already jumped off, but the moving and things like that. What changes are coming in 2022 for you?
All right, I'll jump in. I was going to leave some space, but space is awkward. So I'm excited right now. I thought this stuff I'm about to talk about, I thought was going to be done already, and life happens. So I'm lucky, I'm fortunate to have these problems in my life. I have another house in North Carolina that closes tomorrow. You think I'm drinking beer tonight. You wait this time tomorrow when that house closes. It's taken 9 months to sell, and I won't bore everybody with why, but a lot of investments that I was going to put into my facility, and I point forward because it's right on the other side of my computer. So I'm staring at my whole like snake area over there. But one thing that Kai and I talked a lot about was efficiency in caring for the animals, and that you could get overwhelmed pretty quick. And I think, Jeremy, you and I talked about that as well, man. And my background is restaurants, and I, for the longest, have wanted a big commercial stainless steel sink with a spray nozzle, because right now I'm using a little spray bottle and hand wiping with paper towels and cleaning 30 snakes that way. Every time they poo, you just resent them. You're like, oh, I just cleaned you. Now I got to do this again. And I can't, and I'm wasting paper towels like crazy. And I have these little, anyway, I have right now, I'm looking at it. I've got a commercial two-bin sink with drying boards on both sides. This thing is 7 feet long, 84 inches of sink that I have right there. It's waiting to get plumbed. I'm going to hire a plumber as soon as the house closes tomorrow. I got a new stainless steel restaurant shelf for Christmas that's installed. I found flooring, LVP, nice waterproof flooring went into my actual heated snake room. And now it went so well that I actually want to put it in the garage floor under the sink as well while I can still move the sink before I get it plumbed in. I want to put that in and kind of make the transition. I have a big rug for my office area here. This is all in my garage. This is all within the space of 20 by 20, so it's packed. But that's what I'm excited about. And actually, I've got some videos coming out about that. So that's what I'm working on immediately to change in 2022. And then I'm not going to say what it is. I don't know if Jeremy Baud is still in the he said goodnight, getting past his bedtime. I won't say what. You'll have to watch the last videos. If those of y'all will remember, some of y'all I reached out to I did reach out to a couple of you as well. I was looking for something very, very specific to invest in. I got a little money in my pocket. And Jeremy put me in touch with Steve. He has a drink last name. I've had a couple beverages. Steve. What is his last name? It's Steve's Morphs. Doesn't matter. It's like Steve Martini, but it's not Martini. Doesn't matter. Steve at Steve's Morphs has what I'm looking for. He made me a deal that I can't refuse. So Steven, Tuesday, I'll be driving back from Tampa, hitting Steve's Morphs facility in somewhere just north of Tampa, and then getting home, getting those animals situated. I actually picked up more than one, and then we'll do the show that night. So I'll tell more about them then. But I'm pretty pumped picking that up as well.
That's awesome.
My big change for the seasons or for this next year, if anybody watches my channel, you guys know I have carpet pythons as well as like my little side gig I'm going to be doing. Big thing is I'm going to try to get those girls into PVC enclosures this year, and then get a male for them this year as well. So that way, by the time, because the one I referred to as the witch, Xeno, the one that's got a little bit of an attitude to her, we'll be ready to go here by not by 2022, but 2023. She'll be ready to go. So I don't want her to dwarf the male massively. So I want to get the male this year and have them all in PVC enclosures. And thinking ahead too, and this is where Instagram gets you in trouble. For whatever reason, I've been having a lot of green tree python stuff popping up on my Instagram feed. And I had one years and years ago, and it's giving me an itch, and I'm afraid I'm going to scratch it at some point. So if I get the PVC enclosures for the carpets, that allows me to stack like maybe a green tree on top or two. Because we all know if you get one, you're going to get a second one to breed to it. So it's just affordable.
Sounds like you're definitely going to scratch that itch. You're already planning to scratch it.
2022, Jeremy gets a green tree python.
Hey, Adam. Thinking that speaking of the efficiency stuff, have you thought about like getting those hose reels that go like on the wall or on the ceiling? You just pull them down.
Even beyond that, I'm getting the total restaurant. It's got the spring to it. You just pull the thing down and I'll have the faucet and the spray down one.
Then my friend got one that's like it's a reel, so it's a hose. It's in steel, so he can pull it like across his own room.
Get the floor and whatnot.
Yeah,
too.
He can pull that reel like to all his racks.
Right.
They don't have to be close to the sink. I was thinking of doing that, but I'm too cheap. So I actually got I just got a regular marine grade hose. I just hooked up to the faucet, so I just split the faucet in two. I can still use the faucet, and then the other side just goes to the marine hose. And I got the marine one because it's potable.
Do you have a floor? Do you have a floor drain? That's my only question. So what do you do with when you spray out?
I think it's for
don't spray out. Don't spray out.
Well, then I don't need a hose if I don't spray. I got to spray into the sink.
I think he's talking about for filling up
filling up the water. Yeah, like Steven knows what I'm talking about.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Casino. Steve Casino is Steve's morphs. That is not a drink. That not Steve Martini. Steve Casino. All right, I blame it on the bourbon, and this is why I don't drink when I host my show. Other people are like, "Man, you should have a drink." I'm like, "No. I will."
How much bourbon you still got left, Adam?
Well, I had about 7 ounces to start, and I've got about yay much. So
I'm out.
Something tells me there could be more if you wish.
I was 50-50 on whether or not you're going to hold up an entire bottle.
I was too ready for the bottle to come up.
No, somewhere around 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, my in-laws are arriving from Tucson. So, no, there will not be a whole bottle this evening consumed.
But, so, Kai and Mark, is there anything that you guys are planning on changing for 2022?
Yeah, maybe like take it more seriously as a business, because up until recently I still consider it as a hobby. I still have my 9 to 5, but I'm really considering making this my full-time job. I still have the other what do you call it, the passive income streams and stuff like that, but I want to try to see if I could step up the ball python game and make it something that's more profitable, something that can replace my 9 to 5 salary. So I remember when you and Adam did that one episode where I think it was how would you spend your $10,000?
Oh yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah. So I'm actually thinking of strategizing, changing my strategy to be how can I make this more profitable while still pursuing the projects that I really like doing? Because there's some projects that I want to work with that I'm never going to catch up if I keep trying to breed my own, right? And so in those cases, you kind of change the strategy a little bit and just be what 2 animals can I put together that'll produce really, really cool stuff that I could sell, because that's not going to help me with my project, but I can at least sell them and then get the cooler animal that is going to help me with my project. So that, that's kind of the direction I'm going, is just seeing if I could replace my 9 to 5 with the sales coming in generated from this hobby, and then also I've had too much bourbon as well, to kind of propel my projects a little bit further ahead, faster.
No, that's awesome.
That is huge. I truly hope you get to do it. I feel I don't know. I never know what people have seen or not. There was a poker movie called Rounders where the guy is I'm going in right now. I'm taking my stacks of high society and I'm going to Vegas, man. Kai, I hope you're able to get it, and I hope it goes well for you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're going to crush it. You're going to get it.
I hope so.
I got to say that, Adam, I watched your latest video on all of the money and all that stuff that you're writing down, and I was just mind blown, because as of right now, it's just a hobby for me too, but I do want to eventually make it a business, and that was a little bit eye-opening on all the things you got to keep tabs on and all the details. And yeah, there's a long way I need to go. And
you got to remember, first off, thank you. And shameless plug, that video is crushing it. If I could make videos like that every time, I would have YouTube money coming in. The metrics on that video are just doing great. You got to remember though, that's a whole year's worth of information that I crammed into a 12 or however many long minute video. And what Mark's talking about is a spreadsheet of all my purchases. So my purchases, my sales, what else is on there? Oh, I keep track of my inventory, my base costs of my inventory. But that's okay. I went to the store and I picked up some feeders. Boom, $19. Then I don't put anything else on it for 3 more days. So it's a habitual thing. It's just like other people think we're crazy that we clean tubs 360 days a year, and they think we're nuts. And we're like, well, it's just what we do. It just becomes habitual for it. So it is doable. Don't feel overwhelmed by it, though.
But as far as what I'm going to do this year, I'm going to focus on getting the hardware as far as like racks. And I'm still using a cooler incubator. I've only got a few clutches, so it works perfectly fine. But I do want to get a hot box, more racks, since a lot of my projects are double recessive. There's going to be a lot of holdbacks. So I need more racks for that. And yeah, probably a handful of really high-end males. And with that being said, I want to ask a question to you guys, if you don't mind. I'm on the verge. I'm really thinking about buying like a very expensive animal, and perhaps that will be like, the major purchase my first major purchase. And I know all of you have done that at some point in your careers, and I was interested in hearing what your major purchase was. Not necessarily the most expensive, but if you want to say that, but just something that you made it serious for you. Like, I'm in this for good.
Okay. I got 2. So one, so two purchases I feel like were like really, really cool, really, really good. One was our het sunset female, and it was the first snake that we purchased that was over $1,000. And that was like the first time we'd ever broken it. And it was like, I remember getting into ball pythons and like looking, because Courtney got the first ball python that we had. She's the one who got us into it. So when I was looking to buy my first one, she showed me Morph Market, and I saw a bunch of different snakes. Like, this is so cool. And there was a inchy banana clown that was like $1,000 some on it. And I don't know if it was male or female or anything at the time. And I was like, that snake looks so cool, but who would spend $1,000 on a snake? That's ridiculous. This is stupid. What like, so it was that purchasing that animal like completely changed the perspective on it. And now I feel like that we almost, it's not that we wouldn't buy something that's cheaper than $1,000, but everything that we like get excited about, it's always like over $1,000. Like right now, we are on the lookout very specifically for a yellow belly desert ghost het clown male. Like super, super specific on it. But that was that snake, the het sunset female, because she was the thing that shifted us from, okay, we're going to actually start investing money into this. The other one was the most expensive snake that we got. It was at the time that we bought her. At the time we bought her as a leopard sunset female from Brad Boa, and super, super cool. He had posted the clutch this last year where it was like a leopard Mojave yellow belly het sunset male to an inchy het sunset female. Had 3 different visuals. They were amazing, like super, super cool combos. And we saw him post pictures on Instagram, and we're like, if you have a female that's like one incomplete dominant gene, we'd love to get it. And he had the leopard sunset female. She was the very first one that was produced, and we bought her before she'd even shed. Once she shed and once we got her, Captive Bred Exotics Specialties, the ones who did the Sunset Pieds, they produced leopard sunsets in it, and they look completely different. And when we reached out to Brad Boa again, and as we're talking about all of it, he had us send like completely unedited pics of it, and he's like, she's a leopard yellow belly sunset. So we were super, super stoked about that. Those are the 2 most exciting big purchases we've made. The first one because it changed our mindset. The second one, most expensive snake we'd ever buy, and it ended up being even better. So
I'll go. So
go ahead, Kai. Go.
So I know when we start, like, let me back up. So my background was in aquariums, right, fish and stuff like that. And I think the very first show I did with Adam, I was talking about how I was breeding, $2 beta fish, and then producing 200 of these $2 beta fish. But then I realized like that's not going to really cover the utilities, all the effort and time that I put into it. And I realized that if I buy like a $50 beta fish or two of them and bred them together, then I would have 200 of these $50 beta fish. So with that mentality in mind, when I started with snakes, I went to a small snake reptile expo. It was reef and reptile. So it was like half of the stuff I wanted to look at, and the other half I was like, yeah, I'll just browse through it. And so as I was going through that, with the same mentality of like, if I'm going to breed something that is worthwhile, right? So all the animals there were maybe like, I don't know, $500 around there. And so I'm like, I'm going to get a high-end snake. That was what I said to myself. And I think this was like my second one. The second snake that I was looking for. The first one was being much years earlier. So I said, I'm going to get like a high-end snake. And they were all like around $500 mark. So I ended up getting a snake that's around $450-ish, I think it was. And I was like, all right, I got my high-end snake. I got a female. This is going to happen. And then I found Morph Market. And then when I browsed through there, I'm like, there's a $1,000 snake on there. And there's a $3,000 snake on there. I'm like, this is my plan is all wrong already, right? So then like my second or third snake that I got was from Ozzy Boyd's, and it was a Xanthic het pied, right? And at that point I'm like, all right, cool. Now I got like a high-end snake, all right. And then you watch some more videos, you browse some more on Morph Market, and you're like, oh, there's a $4,000 snake now, and a $6,000 snake now. It's like I can't pull the trigger on those. And then speed ahead about 2 years. I went to Tinley in October, and at the NARBC they have the auctions. Well, Ozzy had another snake on the table. It was a snake that he donated to auction off, and it was labeled as a like desert ghost something, right? And it had a bunch of other genes in there. I wasn't all too familiar, but I'm like, if Ozzy says it's a desert ghost, then it's probably a desert ghost, right? So I ended up bidding on it. I won. And then after I got the animal in my hand, I'm going to like other people's tables that have desert ghosts, and I'm like, I don't think this is a desert ghost. So I ended up going to Ozzy, and he ended up saying like, well, it's probably not a desert ghost. I thought it was. And I'm like, what the hell, right? And I was like, so what is it? He's like, I don't know.
I thought I did on this, but turns out maybe I didn't.
Yeah. So he was like, I don't know. I got to check my records. I was like, well, I thought it was a desert ghost. That's how I got it. Like, is there anything you can do? And then he was like, he points to his like $4,000, $5,000 snakes on his table, and he says, pick one. I'll give you a discount. And I'm like, okay, well, how much is the discount? Because it's like $4,000, $5,000.
Here.
So I ended up getting one, and I think that was like the snake that I really like pushed me into thinking that this is going to be like an investment, like more of an investment. And then since then, I think I've only gotten maybe like 2 other like expensive snakes like that. You probably want me to tell you. You probably want me to tell you what it is, right? So he told me it was a super orange dream leopard pied possible yellow belly, and I bred that actually this season 2021. I got all orange dream pieds out of the clutch. I didn't see yellow belly. I wasn't really expecting it. I also didn't see leopard, but maybe one of them is high white, so maybe that one is the leopard one. So I'm still not sure about it. And then after that, so the other 2 high-end ones that I bought, the expensive ones that I bought is Pastel Spot Nose Russo Clown, and it's a male, so I'm going to be using him in the 2022 season. And then recently, somebody that I kind of knew was, I guess he was purchasing a new home, and so he needed the funds, and he let go of his adult Sunset male, so I picked that one up.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I'm going to be using that Sunset, so I think you might have already seen a couple of pictures on my Instagram and
And he's a damn good looking sunset. Just saying.
He's pretty bright. Like the sides are pretty like bright too. I kept asking him if he knew the pairing, but apparently he purchased it from somebody else as well, so he wasn't sure what the pairing is. But hopefully, maybe I'll be like Steven and get lucky and find another gene somewhere.
Get it. Yeah. Do you know who originally produced him?
I can ask him, but I don't know who it was.
Jeremy, what about you? I'll go last on this one.
My big purchase that kind of put me in the mindset of, I'm going to make a go of this would be my TSK Exantic Orange Dream. Just because, one, it puts me toward my dream snake of an Exantic Orange Dream Bumblebee. I just think that especially after seeing that one I produced this year, just the Orange Dream Bumblebee, I can just only imagine how great that's going to look with taking out that yellow. Just, making that all white, black, and a little bit of gray snake. I think that thing's just going to be wicked looking.
That is cool. And sorry, say it again. It's the TSK Orange Dream Bumblebee?
Well, the one that's what I want to make is the TSK Exantic Orange Dream Bumblebee. What I bought was the TSK Exantic Orange Dream. So I have all the ingredients now to make the Dream Snake with it. I just have to wait. I bought her early in winter of this year. So she's got roughly another year and a half to go till she's ready. But then she's only about 600 grams, I think.
Yeah, but then at least you only need the male to breed it back. You can get a male offspring right back real quick to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I already have that male because this year I produced that male double het Exantic and Clown. So I could throw him to her, but I'm just debating whether or not I want to deal with 50% het clowns. Because I hate playing that 50% game because
I know.
But the het clown part, or the possible het clown part, that's not part of your goal anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't, but at the same token, I want to do like Exantic clowns as well.
Okay.
So it's like I'm kind of working like so many different angles on one project, and I'm trying to figure out how to, make everything work, and which direction I need to go first.
Okay. I was thinking like you had that Orange Dream Bumblebee that you can use. That's a male, right?
Yeah, that Orange Dream Bumblebee's a male because I thought use him.
And your TSK is also Orange Dream too, right? So you can start by making your super het TSK.
See, that was my one plan. I didn't know if that was the right way to go, though.
Well, it all depends now because you're adding variables, right? You're saying you want to do Exantic Clown all of a sudden, so you're changing your plan. That's what we're talking.
Guys, I got the algorithm, I got the logic stream right here. Wait, no, you just put that in the middle there. It's not going to work.
Well, I guess it's more of a, do I want to hit one? Which way do I want to go to hit it? I guess. But I did the way you were saying about Kai was my original thought process is how to go with it. And then I made that double het. Then now it's like, I could do that and get like instant gratification to an extent. I just don't get the super though, like you had said. So I don't know.
But if you have
I'll probably bounce some ideas off of you guys later on when it comes time to actually pull the trigger on it.
Yeah, sure.
So I'll take a little different spin on this. I was out at speaking of the dreaded spreadsheet of snakes, I was just looking. The most expensive snake I've ever bought.
By the way, I don't mean to cut you off, but when you had that video and you were showing your spreadsheet, I was slowing the video down to see if I could figure out what you have in your collection, like line by line, trying to figure out what you bought.
It's all there. Actually, I felt a little bad. I didn't put the breeders' names on there that I bought from, but if you watched enough videos, you could piece together who gave me what deals. But I don't do that. That's not what it's about. But yeah, you can actually. Yeah, the final. My final inventory is on there if you slow it down. But okay, so if you're going to be creepy like Kai, you can see. Oh no, actually, this is from 2020. You won't see it. Under the 2020 tab, the most expensive snake I've ever bought was $535. And I actually sold that snake because I couldn't get it to eat anything but mice. And this girl would not get over 920 grams. She was 5 years old, 920, would only eat a mouse every week. So I ended up selling her. So my take, I always say that wealth and finances are all relative. So what one person needs coming in is very relative to what their lifestyle is or where they're at or what their family is and all of that. The fact is I don't see a way that I'm going to spend, short of having an investor that I partner with, I'm not going to spend $4,000 on a snake at this point. In 2 years, I might, but I've sort of, to Mark's point, I've really put a lot of effort into making sure that I know what pennies are coming in and what pennies are going out. And so in that way, it's not quite just it's not quite a hobby for me. I keep track of it. Now, also to Mark's point, he might not realize it, I very much enjoy that stuff. So while it might seem overwhelming to him, I get my kicks from it. I love metrics. I love tracking pennies. I love figuring out where stuff goes. I do it for, believe it or not, I do that for music. I do it for my house expenses. That's just what I do. So I haven't spent nearly as much. To Kai's point earlier, I tried to buy things that I could put together and make relatively very expensive things. So the most expensive snake I ever bought was $535, but this year I sold a $700 snake. If I can scale that up, well, hell, that's a pretty good arrangement. And if I can magnify that to exponential values as, visuals and double visuals come along, that's what I'd like to do. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean I don't want to spend money. If I had the means, I would have bought a clown pied male this year and bred that through my collection of every visual female recessive that I have. You got to be disciplined. We've all heard the horror stories of people going down the black hole of dead and flaming out in this hobby because it just spins out of control. And you can't do that. And you can't do that with any hobby. And so that spreadsheet is what keeps me disciplined. And that's where I was like, I don't have it. Now, the flip side is I say the most expensive snake that I bought was $535. I'm about to spend quite a lot more than that. Not in the multiple thousands, but on January 2nd on 2 snakes. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I'll talk about that later. But I really like that I can have a seat at the table. I can be in the game. From that same video, it's not any secret. My gross revenue was $4,500 this year on pairing 4 snakes. So I had 2 clutches, 4 snakes. So pairing those 4 animals, all of which were under $535, I generated $4,500 in revenue. That's a pretty good, that's a pretty good proof of concept, which tells me I need to keep going at this and I need to scale up is what I need to do.
Quick thing before we jump off the subject. Mark, if you don't mind sharing, what investment are you thinking of getting? Not necessarily the amount of money, but what are you thinking of pulling the trigger on?
Well, I'll just say
that's a great question. Yeah.
I'll just say it's a fireball snake.
Okay. All right.
That should be enough to say there.
Okay.
Fireball. I'm lost. I don't know.
Is it DG?
Desert Ghost, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's awesome. I think Desert Ghost is so cool. And when I very first started buying snakes on it, because it doesn't, if you're looking at Desert Ghost against a normal, it's brighter. That's it's just brighter. And I'm like, it's overrated. But as I've looked at so many other combos, I'm just like, it makes everything better. Every single thing better. And
even the hats. Even the hats have that extra little dash of brightness added to them.
Yeah, I really like Desert Ghost, and we want to get into it. So that's one of our clutches that I'm most excited about this year is the collaborative project we're doing with Balls and Strikes, our friend Troy over there. It's his pastel inchy chocolate Desert Ghost female to our sunset male for double heads. So,
jeez.
like,
That'll be nice.
like I'm super excited.
Yeah. Wow.
So can we acknowledge that we hope Gershon is okay? He showed up about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
There he is.
He's at least on
So-
mute.
Where's your picture?
So I'm actually on my way to work. I got called in to plow snow. We had almost 4 to 5 inches of snow, so I'm on my way to work. But I wanted to at least stop by.
There the whole time.
Oh yeah, I've just been listening. I've been
Man,
getting this information.
That's way creepier.
Yeah, it was creepy, Kai. It was very creepy. So, what the topic was? Most expensive snake you bought,
Or like the most influential, like game-changing snake that you picked up. What was yours, Gershon? Just in general. Like,
for me, it had to be my. Can you guys hear me? My clown head albino. I got him from Garrick DeMeyer, and he's fathered 12 of my clutches over the years, which allowed me to get into the clown albino project. What was that?
That snake is making money. He's sired.
He is. He has paid for himself 3 times over, which is great. And he's given me the ability to go into other projects, to fund other projects as well, which is really amazing. Yeah, hopefully I might be letting him go after this season. I'm gonna let him go another round with a couple girls, and I might be letting him go because I got my albino clown visual, so I don't necessarily need him anymore. I've upgraded, so he's gonna get put up for sale after this season. Hopefully he can produce a couple more albino clown females. That would be great before I let him go. But that's the plan for him.
That is the game changer, man. And hey, real quick, while we got you, you got Paul from New Forest on your show. Is it tomorrow night?
Yep, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I probably will be tired because I'll be plowing all the way until like 3 p.m. tomorrow. So I'll be tired. So it's gonna be fun.
You're plowing?
Well, I plow. I'm going in for overtime right now, which is 11 to 7, and then I do my regular shift from 7 to 3. So I'll be at work for 15, 16 hours easy.
Yeah. Thanks for looking out for everybody. Those that don't know, Gershon's in Wisconsin, and Wisconsin in December is not screwing around when it comes to snow.
It does not.
No.
It does not. A lot of sleepless nights. But hey, I'm out here making it safe for people and making a little money on the side. So that's what's important.
I said earlier before you came on, everybody just sees our YouTube personalities hanging out talking about ball pythons. Nobody sees the work that we do from 9 to 5 or from 11 at night till 3 o'clock the next afternoon. You know what I mean?
Very true.
Yeah, man. But hey, get that overtime. That's a 50% bonus that you're getting for doing the same work. It just is extra work. So I love
exactly.
I'm a huge fan of overtime.
Snake money.
That's snake money.
That's what I'm trying to tell the wife, but she don't like to hear that.
Well,
she's like, that's mortgage money. Stop playing.
No, you say that's snake money.
Hey, hi. I don't like sleeping on the couch, so I'm not that aggressive with her. I can't do that. At least until I buy a more comfortable couch.
Gershon, if you really want to piss her off, man, your mortgage is probably only 5 to 8% maybe, but you could tell her about that one snake that sired 12 clutches because I guarantee you he's providing a return that's exponentially greater than the 5 to 8% that the mortgage is costing you. If you feel like trying that move, that's like the
that sounds like a lot of hey, you gonna sleep for the month on the couch instead of oh yeah, that makes sense.
You ever seen Shawshank Redemption where Andy Dufresne just about gets himself thrown off the roof by the warden when he's like, you can tell this to your wife, and here's how I can save you money. You got one chance to get it right, or you get thrown out.
Nah, I don't think that's gonna work. She does like that movie though. She loves that movie.
Well, hey man. After that, Andy Dufresne got beers for all his boys on the roof. It was a nice day, remember?
That was a nice day. I don't think it's gonna work out for me that way, but it's nice to have wishes. It's nice to have wishes.
Blame it on the bourbon, okay, man?
I don't even drink, so I can't even blame it on the drink.
I do. We're having more drinks than usually consumed on Proper Royals Live tonight.
Understandable. But I get to stick around for another 20 minutes before I got to go in, so I'll just be listening. Any questions, let me know.
Yeah, hang out. That's probably what we got. We'll call it around midnight. Like I said, I got my in-laws in the morning, and anyhow, I need to behave a little bit in the morning. So we'll call it around midnight Eastern. We got another 25 minutes or so. Stick around, guys.
Okay. So, quick, hey, Steven, Jeremy, never met you before. Nice to see you guys. Hopefully, I can get you guys on my show at one point in time. Not that I'm trying to take over the show, just throwing that out there.
No, I'm all down. I'm all down for it. So
Yep.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yep, just hit me up, Gershon.
All right, definitely will.
no. So one thing that we are working on for this year, again, because like I talk about marketing all the time, and I have to if I am gonna talk about anything. But one of our goals this year is that for like our brand positioning and like our marketing strategy, we go off of like the marketing theory of people buy from brands that they believe the brand was made for people like them, or the brand was made for people that they want to be like. So one thing that we really like about lives is that as we're doing lives, it's always talking with other ball python breeders and a lot of people who we sell to, not that we don't sell to like pet owners, but a lot of people that we sell to, pet owners aren't wanting to buy a het sunset snake. It's silly for them to spend that much money on a snake that's just has a het for something. So that's one of the reasons why we really like live. So we're 100% down, Gershon. Like,
I love that. They say that like YouTube helps you find or Instagram or Facebook, social media helps you find your tribe. And what we forget is that there's such a vast audience. If we forget how big the audience is, all you got to do is look at Brian Barczyk. He's got 3.3 million followers, and that's only 3.3 million people that have found him. If we could just get a little slice of that pie, that those are the people that are going to buy from us, connect from us, support us, tell other people about us. The audience is vast out there that we can chase down and track down. And that gives me an incredible amount of hope. I mean, I'm feeling good because I'm coming in on 900 subscribers, much less, the 3.3 million remaining out there. Kai, you're coming up on what, 5,000?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, the audience, the customer base, the marketplace is it's great. I'm just invigorated by the opportunity with it.
I was watching a video. I think it was, I don't know if it was like a MJ Trap Talk or if it was just a video that he had, but he was with Justin Kabolka and he was talking about, it was like kind of like an experiment of it, which I thought was really, really cool about the potential of the market. And he said that if you took everybody in the ball python community, anybody who's looking at ball pythons on YouTube or Instagram or stuff, they already like snakes. But there's so many people out there that don't even know about it because they've never been exposed. And he talked about that if you went out into like any major city with a pied and you just started showing people a pied snake, let's say half of them right away are like, I hate snakes. The only good snake's a dead snake, and they don't even care. Then there's the other half of them. There's going to be, I think the way he said it was like 25% of them are like, I don't care either way. I don't hate it, but I'm just indifferent. And then there's another 25% like, that's the coolest freaking snake that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Just a regular single gene pied. And if you like extrapolate that to like how many people are in just like America, if there's 300 million people in America, and let's go on like 10%, not even 25%, 10% of 300 million people in America, that's 30 million people that if they knew about it, they might be interested in it. I don't think that there's 30 million people buying snakes right now in America.
I don't think that there's that many, but I've been dumbfounded. Now, I lived in a vacuum. So I lived in a super rural area of North Carolina. I loved it for certain reasons. Like I didn't have neighbors. I could light fires and blare guitars at 3 a.m. No problem. No, just there's nobody around me. So out there, I was pretty removed. But I'll tell you, so Asheville was where my FedEx hub was. And I would pick up snakes in Asheville. And at 10 a.m. on any given weekday morning that I drove down there to pick up my snake, there'd be 3 or 4 people in line. And I'll be damned if they weren't getting snakes overnighted to. And I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, I thought I was just the weird dude out in the country raising snakes, And I was like, well, okay. And then here in Jacksonville, it is, man, people just pop up everywhere. And a lot of people are I'm just getting started, but truly just getting started, trying to understand a pastel versus an orange dream or whatever it might be. Just super, super entry stuff. But then there's a dude that I'm like, I'm going to frighten this guy because I'm going to be like, dude, you need to come on my show now. Like, he's cranking out double recessives with a het on top of it. And I'm like, you're just over there in Orange Park's across the river from Jacksonville. So it's still the greater Jacksonville area. But I'm like, oh, you're just over there in Orange Park with your double recessives and a head on top, huh? I'm like, God, how is this going on right under my nose? It's everywhere. It's incredible what's out there.
Yeah, it's just amazing how many people that are in this hobby that you don't even hear about. That is the ridiculous point. And every day somebody is researching about ball pythons and thinking about buying one and then thinking about breeding them. I literally sold, most of my sales are to newer people that are either just excited for ball pythons and want to have a snake and believe that their ball pythons are like one of the kind of easiest reptiles to get into, which could be and could be not, depending on who you ask. But it's amazing how they go from one snake to 17 in 2 months. It's ridiculous how fast it happens to people. I have a lady that I am going to ship a snake once it's warm enough to ship. And in anticipation of that snake she's getting, she's already bought 2 more snakes. So, and she wasn't planning to buy snakes. She was planning to buy one just to have as a pet. And now she's 3 in already. So the market is open.
That most expensive snake I've ever sold was to somebody who didn't own any. It was not to a breeder.
Oh.
All she saw was the visual of it, and it was a paradox, so she thought it was totally cool. And the het clown portion of it was not important whatsoever to her. And I will say she did it great because I was a little hesitant. I was like, you know what? Like, maybe this isn't the snake for you, or we need to talk about what your setup is and all of that. And she spent many, many phone conversations with me about understanding the heat setup, what she's going to keep it in, what kind of care. We've been in touch. We probably still talk once a week, just finding out how it's doing. It's doing great. And she's a great owner. It's just to your point, Gershon. Like, I think she might knock on my door next year, go, okay, what's next,
Yep.
Hey, I see, just out of personal curiosity, Blue Ridge Pythons. I see you in the audience. First off, your logo is killer. Where in the Blue Ridge are you? Like I said, I lived in North Carolina for a long time. And actually, I was born in Asheville, but the past 10 years I've spent living in North Carolina. So when I see Blue Ridge mentioned, that's a place very special to my heart. What's where are you at out there? We're on a delay, so take them a moment to type and all of that.
I'd like to say, Stephen, your last video on the marketing thing you put out was killer, dude. Absolutely killer.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. I love talking about marketing.
Yeah, how did you know all about the algorithm? Oh, sorry to cut you off.
Me or Jeremy?
Steven.
Oh, so
Sorry, what was the question? Repeat that. How do you know about what?
How did you know so much about the algorithm?
So a couple different things on it. One is like a lot. So I'll get into like details because it's like I won't say like specifics on stuff, at least where my current employer is, unless you want to message me and all that. So all of my like pretty much professional experiences in marketing, I started off like my first real job was running the social media marketing for the South Carolina National Guard. And so we had like contacts with like Facebook and stuff like that to like do the media buys and stuff. And a lot of like training and stuff like that is like, hey, this is how like stuff works for it. From there, I did a graduate certificate in social media management at Georgetown University, which was super fun, super beneficial. I have, like Adam had said earlier, I'm working on my doctorate in strategic marketing and stuff. I currently do digital marketing for a bank that serves the East Coast. So like part of my job is like literally like watching. They actually have it on, if you follow, I think it's @creators on Instagram. They'll tell you all of the updates that they're doing to the algorithm. It's Instagram's like account that's kind of like, hey, letting you know we're introducing reel bonuses, letting you know we're introducing the Instagram health feature. There's lots of like different stuff on there. And I just pretty much like keep up with it, like how people watch the news. I'm watching stuff on digital marketing all the time. It's super fun. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I found it really interesting, the part where you said like if you put like very general hashtags, like you're such a little small piece in it and you might not get that much attention.
Mm-hmm.
Smart. I think the example you had was like Snake Mama or something like that.
Yeah.
Snake Mama. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't think so. I thought it was like the opposite. I thought like the more hashtags I put in there, you know, the more opportunity I have to show up on feeds.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, you know, that kind of was very different
Mm-hmm.
to what I was expecting.
I started mixing up my hashtags after watching that.
Yeah, well, no, it makes me super freaking stoked. Like, it makes me really happy that people find it beneficial. And it's not something I feel like anybody really talks about, at least in the ball python community. You guys can search literally like Instagram tips on YouTube, and there's plenty of people in the marketing world that are making YouTube videos exactly like we do for ball python, but they do it on digital marketing.
Yep.
And it's really, really good info, but nobody in the ball python community is taking that information and translating it into marketing, I don't feel like. Or I haven't seen it.
I was going to say, I wouldn't say nobody just because I'm a junkie for that stuff. Like, it hasn't paid off yet, but I love that. So my morning paper every morning is looking at my metrics on YouTube from the day before, trying to figure out what's working, what's not, how prevalent the search volume is for my viewership versus just my scrolling through what it pops up. Because what it pops up is what YouTube chooses to show other people, but the search volume is what they're looking for, that they're connecting directly to me. So at that point, it's almost bypassing the algorithm because I'm using searchable terms. So that goes back to what I was saying earlier, that whether it's a live show or whether it's a specific video, I put a lot of work into figuring out what title and description I'm going to put in there. And then my descriptions read like a child talking about the same thing over and over. I use the same keyword like 9 times in the same paragraph. So if you're like, why does he keep saying his ball python family hobby 9 times? I saw him say that earlier in the first sentence. It's because it seems to go, trigger interest in the search on that. I think that's where the magic is, and that's what's become translatable to other parts of my business life, whether it's the restaurants or the wedding sales. Specifically, attracting brides to our wedding venue is incredibly valuable.
I definitely need to watch Steven's video for one to learn more of that, but I definitely wanted to get better at that aspect of marketing this year on my YouTube and Instagram, somewhat on my TikTok. So I definitely will be writing you, Steven, to find out some tips if possible. But I honestly been just winging it. I do all the hashtags like everybody does. I throw specific ones that are about the video that it's on, but I'm like, I don't see a lot of growth. It seems very slow and steady. And I'm like, why can't I get traction coming to the channel or the Instagram as much as I'm seeing other people doing similar stuff as I'm doing, wondering how are they getting that attraction to their YouTube. So that's something I want to get better at this year.
So, and I'm doing specifically talking about Instagram because that's like the platform that I like the most. I just find it really easy. Instagram, and I think I mentioned it in the video and all that stuff. So the last video that we posted, it's on specifically the awareness phase of the consumer marketing funnel. We have a video maybe 2 months ago or so. It talks about the entire consumer marketing funnel. I actually think that one's probably a better starting point than jumping in depth onto the awareness phase. I think the title of the first video, the one that I think you should start with, is Selling Too Many Snakes or Too Much Snakes or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it is.
I can Too Many Snakes.
Okay. But yeah, so that one, it talks about all of it. And I think that it's really important to get an overview of the entire journey that a consumer goes through. Because I personally believe, and I talk about it in every single one of them, it is so much better to have a smaller audience that is more engaged with you and loves you than having a bigger audience that just is kind of meh. And I think that understanding the entire funnel is going to help you build out the people who absolutely love you, and that they will come in to a live at 10 o'clock on a work night every single week.
Oh man, the snow got Gershon. He's gone. Steven's point is one of my favorite, like, hang on a second. Let me unmute him real fast. He chose to mute himself while he's connecting. Steven's point right there was something that was so refreshing to me. I felt like overwhelmed at a point. Like, how am I ever going to keep up with, what Justin's got 50,000 subscribers. What's his name at Olympus out there has 56,000 and then Barch's got 3.3 million. And Kai brought up a good point earlier, like these great genes that are out there. How are you ever going to catch up to these people? Because there's no time. And Steven's point, I read it somewhere else, but it's verbalized a little bit different, but it's exactly the same point. You don't need 3 million followers. You need 100 to 1,000 super fans. And this guy described super fans as people willing to spend $1,000 a year on your product. If you can get 100 people to spend $1,000, that's $100,000 of gross revenue. You could probably figure out a pretty good lifestyle on $100,000 coming in. And I took it more as, what if I found 500 people that would spend $500? That's kind of an attainable goal, and not tomorrow, but in a 10-year span, that's attainable. And that's $250,000 of gross revenue. I showed you all my books. You've seen my overhead. I don't have $250,000 of overhead. So Stephen, to your point, having intimate fans that truly follow you and love you versus some mass audience of, they're pretty good fans. We don't need that.
I think that it is so much. I think that it makes it a lot, how you had said, less daunting when you don't think like, I need to get 10,000 followers. I need to get 100,000 followers.
Yes,
and you're like,
that was the refresher for me. That was the gas in my tank. I was like, oh shit, I can do this now.
Yep. If you were just like, if you had a goal, 2022 rolls around, you're like, all right, my goal is every single day during 2022, I make a new friend. And it's through Instagram, it's through YouTube, it's whatever. But somebody new who I haven't talked to before, I make a new friend. If you do that and you make 365 new friends during 2022, I guarantee you're going to be doing well on whatever platform it is. Because it's not just going to stop there.
It's not going to stop in your one-time customers, whether they tell other people about you or whether they come and become a repeat customer. The payoff is so huge with snakes because these are $400, $500, $600 chunks. These aren't people buying a soda from you at 50 cents a pop. Like, this is significant return on your time investment, man. Like, this is the opportunity's there if you throw what you got at it, I think.
So one question for you guys. One, I like everybody in here has like YouTube and whether it's live shows, like pre-recorded videos, all that stuff. What style do you like the most when you are consuming media on YouTube? Do you guys like the how-to videos? Do you guys just like egg cutting stuff? Do you guys like vlog style? What are the things that you personally watch the most?
I like it all. Did I miss something? Sorry, I had to talk to one of my bosses. I see somebody was trying to unmute. I heard somebody was saying they were trying to unmute me, and I might have missed something. I'm sorry.
Well, you went away and then you came back. And when you came back the first time, you were muted. So I was trying to unmute you, but I only have some control. If you don't want to be unmuted, I can't unmute you.
Yeah, I muted myself because I was talking to my boss.
Yeah.
But I like egg cuttings. I do like vlog style. I do like live streams when it's a good conversation. Like I try to catch every live stream that Ozzy's on because he's always talking business. And I'm trying to learn as much about business outside of even ball pythons, just real estate and all that stuff. I'm trying to learn that as much as possible. I don't really vlog myself. I just show you guys what I did. That I guess that is a vlog. Never mind. That was stupid. But those are the videos I like.
So I kind of watch a little bit of everything. And like egg cuttings are probably one of my favorites. I do watch them, the how-tos on stuff like that. I need to still learn. But egg cuttings, live streams. I mean, I'm always watching Adam's live stream, and I try to catch Gershon's when I can. I know the last time I think I had company over and I missed it, but I watched it after everybody left that night. But I mean, I enjoy it all. I mean, it's all got its pros, in my opinion. It's just a matter of where does it fit in to the schedule.
I like the people I can connect with. So like, I've kind of been on a journey like the rest of us, but there was a long time where I loved Billy's egg cutting videos just because of their personalities. Like one of my favorite shows on TV is Around the Horn on ESPN. And it's not because I'm a sports nut. It's not because I want just stats crammed down my throat. Like it's their interaction. Like the host is great and those characters that they have are great. And Billy's larger than life. He's fantastic. I mean, I think he's got even, Justin Miguel's pretty big personality as well. And of course, Brian's kind of got the trifecta. He's got the quality snakes, he's got the persona, and he's just got the content. It's fantastic. But I like the people I connect with, I follow. So like the Gershon, who are you talking about in Garrick DeMeyer over in Wisconsin? He's not a huge personality, but man, he knows his stuff. He comes across relatable. So he's relatable and has killer stuff. I enjoyed that. Steven, I always found you to be like honest and approachable is not exactly the right word, although I find you approachable. I found you knowledgeable and credible. That's the word I'm looking for. Jeremy, I found you like, I was like, man, Jeremy and I could be out like, I don't even know what you do for a living, but I feel like you and I could be swinging hammers, putting flooring down in the snake room, drinking a beer, and then talking about what snake dreams we're going to have. And I was like, that's the kind of guy I want to hang out with. And Kai, I found really analytic. I'll tell you what, the funny, I don't know, I find it funny. What made me like Kai, aside from his snakes, he has quality animals, his DIY racks. It's not the PVC. It's not the racks. It's not the DIY video. It's that he measured and pre-drilled his holes. If you will pre-drill your holes, Steven, here it comes. I'm about to use up PG-13. If you pre-drill your holes, you're not fucking around with your projects. And I wanted a guy that wasn't messing around with his projects. And that, so all of those little things attracted me to you all in various ways. And I've talked about Mark and his passion for teaching and students, but So at that point, once I'm attracted to the person, I don't care. I almost don't care what the content is. I just want to know what they're up to at that point. But there's that initial like, they got that one thing I really want, you know?
Yep.
And some people have more than one thing, but a lot of it's they got that one thing, you know?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I really started to do lives, because I realized it let more of my personality come out, and it let me do it without thinking about it. When you're shooting a video, you're trying to remember to say a certain thing, remember to smile, remember to not mess up your words. When you're live, it's just you right there, and
yeah,
everything you are is right there in front of everybody. So there's no real, you can pretend it for a little bit, but eventually there's going to be a live where you forget you're live and your real personality comes out and people see you like, oh, you've been pretending this whole time. So that's why I love doing the lives, because it's genuinely me. And if you don't like me, you know it right off the bat, and you could watch another video, but you know my personality right then and there. So that was a thing I learned this year by doing all the lives. I started to get a lot of people gravitate to me just because they liked my personality, which is a nice thing to know about yourself, especially when you're an introvert. But yeah, that's why I did lives. That's what I like about them.
You're not an introvert, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
I am an introvert. I'm good in small groups. I'm amazing in small groups. Large groups, not a fan.
Two things real quick. Gershon, your personality is infectious. Absolutely. Second, and I'll leave that there because I know it's awkward to hear that stuff about yourself when you don't. Anyway, we'll leave it there.
This is true.
So here's a great content. Here's a great topic for us to end on. We've been at this 2 hours. To a nod to Steven, I want to stay on brand and largely be sober on my brand. So we're gonna end on this topic. But Blue Ridge Python says, do you guys have any advice for someone looking to start making YouTube content? It's going to be my New Year's resolution to try making videos. So let's go around the table on this and let's get Blue Ridge Pythons moving and into the game.
Could I go first? I actually got to go get my assignment.
Yeah.
So
hit it.
Quick tip. I tell everybody, I break down their first 3 videos. Talk about your males, talk about your females, then talk about your breeding plans. Don't put the videos out right away. First, take every video, do like every 2 weeks, put a video out until you get comfortable with making content. And then you could go once a week. Because it does help in the algorithm, I believe, when you do weekly videos. It really helps if you do daily, but that's a whole nother beast in itself. But don't try to plan too much of it out. Always have the ability to let yourself shine by not reading off a script per se. You can start with a script, but try to veer away from it because it kind of encloses you into a box. And it's harder for people to see your personality if you're so scripted. At least I believe. That's in my opinion. And have fun with it. If it's not fun, people are going to see that, and they're going to be like, "Oh, this is a chore for you. Why should I have to make it a chore for me to watch?" So have fun.
That's good advice.
That's all I got.
I'll piggyback on that. When I first started making my videos, I would write everything down. I would detail everything out. Then I would spend like the entire Saturday working on the video. And I was kind of getting burned out on that. And finally I decided to do the Wednesday videos where I would just talk and show snakes. And it's kind of refreshed it. And, I put out a video in less than an hour and I find it really enjoyable. So I say just do it. It's going to be awkward at first, but as things progress, you're going to get better at it. And best time to start is now.
I like that. The best time to start is now, like getting it. My thing is recording YouTube videos, recording videos in general requires a lot of different skills. And there's some things that you don't think are skills, but they 100% are. For me, the one that took me the longest to develop was actually talking in front of a camera. So much that I was so uncomfortable doing it, I wouldn't let Courtney stay in the same room while I recorded my parts because it felt like I was singing in front of people. Like, but the reason why I bring this up is it does go away. The more that you do it, the better that you get at it, the more comfortable you get at it. And even if you are feeling awkward at first, just keep doing it because you will get better. Even if they're not perfect right away, just do it. Just do it. Just keep doing it. Keep it up. And then eventually you'll get to a point where you're like, yeah, I'm getting this. I like this. I'm comfortable doing it. I can make it. And then technical things, I would say lighting. Lighting and audio are super, super important.
Jeremy, what do you think?
I would say biggest thing is just jump into it and do it. If you kind of play around and keep thinking, maybe I'll do it, you're never going to do it. Just jump in, do it, have fun with it. Accept the fact that, I think we can all agree, our first couple videos are probably by far the worst content, or not the worst content, but the worst showing of our actual selves. I mean, I know even to this day, I've watched some of my stuff and I feel like I'm Ben Stein going, Bueller. I mean, I actually was watching one last night thinking the same thing. It's like, good grief.
But even Ben Stein got paid, man. Like,
that's true. And then the lighting, like Steven said, I mean, some of my first videos, I did it. I was so set on doing it in the snake room. And I only had one light in here at the time, and the lighting was terrible. And I was watching one last night. I thought, it's like, good grief, how did I get any subs from this? So, I mean, you try to do them right, but just accept the fact that as time goes on, what you produce later on is going to be way better than what you're doing right now. But you have to just grab the bull by the horns and go do it.
Kai?
Yeah, I think that the common theme here is you just gotta do it. You just gotta start. And, you know, if you're not the type of person that can do that, then just what I found helpful is just to put a date on your calendar, mark your calendar. So I'm gonna release a video on this day. That way you have some target to move towards. So my first few videos, I did what Gershon said not to do, which is to write a script and just read off of it. But it worked. I put out some videos, and then the more you do, you try different stuff as you go along, and you'll find some comfort, a comfort area, something that you're comfortable doing, and then you can just stick to that. And then, the people that want to watch your content, the people who like your content in the format, they'll gravitate towards you. So, and then that way you start building, your audience, your subscribers that, like we were saying earlier, that genuinely like you for who you are. So yeah, the common theme, just start. Doesn't matter where, just start. And I know there's like all these other little things that matter as well when you're releasing videos, like thumbnails and titles and things like that. I think that'll just come naturally as you release more content. But just get yourself in front of the iPhone and just practice a few times. And it is really weird, right? Because you're not talking to another person. It's great if you have a partner in the hobby and you guys can talk to each other and just record that. But when you're by yourself and you're just looking at a camera and you're just talking and having a conversation with yourself, and it's hard to keep it going, right? Because you're not used to that. Your brain doesn't work that way. Your brain wants to have a conversation where you say something and then wait for a response, but you're not going to get a response. You just have to keep talking and talking and talking. And you know what? Your editing skills would be great as well. So you just have to get used to it. And then find that comfort area, something that you're comfortable doing. It'll all work out. Just believe in yourself and set a date on your calendar and start.
All right, Blue Ridge Pythons, I'll wrap it up. I agree. You have to start. You have to press record. You have to put it out there. But as crazy as that sounds, here's a little a little secret. Nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to give a damn in your life that you posted a video on YouTube. But you're going to find the people that do give a damn. This is how I found the 6 people in the room with me right now. So get going. You're going to be awkward at first, and you're going to be so excited that you got 7 views on your first day. And then the next day, you're going to be so excited that you got 13 views, and you're going to go, holy crap, there's people out there. And you're going to do another one. And I liked that Gershon said, here's a process, because I'm a really process-driven guy. But I'll tell you, with YouTube and my experience, this is my experience, not anybody else's, my experience, just produce, man. Just, I don't know if you're a man or a woman, I'm sorry. Just produce. You're going to find a million little things. So like I said in my last live show, somebody said that my background looked really good. That was one of the best compliments I've ever gotten, because I worked at figuring out how in the world I was going to get this little blue light. So here's what I normally look like. Oh, YouTube, Adam. And you're going to find a million little things that a script works for you, or a bullet points works for you. But I made a bunch of notes for you here. So this is your 2022 resolution wrapped up from six people that have started on their own. Get started. You're going to get better, but you're not going to get better if you don't put yourself out there, because it is not the same accountability. Practicing in your room versus publishing a video is not the same. Publish the video. Get out there. You're going to learn that it's okay. There's a lot of support out there. You're going to learn a ton along the way. Don't sweat the small stuff. It's all small stuff. Here I am loaded up on bourbon, reading off of a sheet for you tonight. Okay, that's not on brand, but it's going to be okay. We're connecting. It's cool. Nobody's going to know it's you. Just like probably most of your neighbors don't know that you're breeding ball pythons or have a bunch of ball pythons. You're going to find your tribe. They're out there. Equipment, get there. Build to it. Don't worry about it to start with. Crank up your phone, which is better than almost every camera that was out there on the market 2 years ago. Crank up your phone and press record. You're going to be there. It's a long haul. I started making videos in November of 2020. I produced over 200 videos. It's a long haul. I'm not saying that's the pace you need to go at. I'm still not monetized, but I'm selling snakes, and I have revenue to show this year for it. So get going. You'll find your people. And listen, there's no rules or deadlines. If you miss producing tomorrow when you wanted to make a video, produce the next day. The flip side is, though, set goals and deadlines for yourself. Hold yourself accountable if you miss. There's no penalty other than you want to accomplish something.
Or I will call you though and be like, why you didn't make a video? I've done that. I have friends that will get on your case about making videos. If you said you want to do it and you still dragging your feet, have a friend bug you about, hey, where's that video? You said you're going to make it. I've done that with 10 to 12 different people this year, and they finally started their channel, and now they're addicted to making videos. So
that is awesome. I guarantee if you find all of us on Instagram and you say, I'm going to publish a video in 10 days and your video ain't up, we're going to roast your ass. All right. So
definitely
we'll help you. I don't want to speak on everybody's account. I will help.
Side note, I'm working on a project where I want to talk to people that are about to start their first video. And like we have a short little conversation on a live or recorded video, whichever one you feel comfortable with. And after that, we send people to your channel just to give you that little boost to know that you're not going to only get one view on your video. I know that's very discouraging when you put out something and only like 2 people watch it. So if you're interested in being involved and you're about to start a channel, hit me up on Instagram and we can talk. Sorry, I'm promoting myself. Sorry.
No, you are, but how killer is that? Like, this is the stuff that Gershon's into. And I hear Gershon say that he wants to, learn about some business and marketing or other stuff. But, man, he's one of the he's incredibly creative with how he can help and build things. So yeah, on the one hand, you're promoting yourself. On the other hand, you're helping people out. I think that's incredibly killer of an idea to go, oh, you want to get started? Well, here's what we'll do. You come on my show and we get you a bunch of views. That's awesome, man. Don't apologize for that.
I mean, I just know the more we make our hobby mainstream, the more positives we can get for them. So we have to keep bringing in people because we can't keep selling to ourselves. We'll all go broke.
Right? Customer service, man.
Exactly.
All right.
So are we saying that by January 2nd, if Blue Ridge Pythons doesn't put out a video, we're all gonna go bug that guy?
January
2nd. We're gonna make videos about him not producing videos.
Sunday. Yeah.
I was gonna send him a text on the first, like, "Hey, it's real close. What are we doing?"
All right. What's
Instagram right now, Blue Ridge.
comment here?
We'll all start videos, and it's all like, still waiting up to see Blue Ridge Python's video.
So here's my last bullet point that I have for you, Blue Ridge Pythons. And this is hard to embrace, but I promise all of us are going to nod here in just a second. If you post a video and it sucks, so what? It doesn't matter. That's the beauty of YouTube. And you got the algorithm working for you. The algorithm says, hey, nobody watched this, so it sucks. I'm going to throw it in the gutter. You never have to, nobody has to worry about it. I have videos still with like 8 views, and I'm like, I thought that was pretty good. It wasn't good, and there's a reason it wasn't good, and the algorithm figured out it wasn't good. There's no penalty for sucking, man. Let it rip. Get out there and get going.
Yeah, learn from what you suck at, and then suck a little less at it. That's all you can do.
Gershon, you're exactly right, and I'm a music rock and roll guy. So there was an interview with Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters. If nobody knows who Dave Grohl is, Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters. And somebody said, the interviewer said, what do you think about these shows that are talent show, like, The Voice or American Idol? And of course, predictably, Dave Grohl was like, oh, that sucks. But then he said something incredibly insightful. He said, being on stage and rock and roll is about sucking. It's about having a garage band that is horrible and playing a gig and having everybody look at you and go, the F was that? I already used up my real F word. What was that? And then one day you get a little bit better and you get fans. And then one day you get a little bit better and you get a paying gig. And one day you get a little bit better and a record company gets interested in you. And then 30 years later, you're playing Madison Square Garden. And Inquiline has been saying twice now, 1% better every day is a 365% return a year. That's a great goal. So go through the struggle, go through I'm going to suck for a little bit. I'm in the middle of it. I haven't made a penny on YouTube and I grind the stuff out. And sometimes it hits and sometimes it doesn't. Start. That's all you got to do. Go start. Don't get worried about it. Go start. And actually, I think your logo is killer. The mountains in the background behind the snake are primo and it's going to scale nicely. I'll leave it alone. There you go. There's what I got to say for you. Send us off to 2020, guys. If you want to say something, now's the time because I'm about to wrap this thing up.
I really liked hanging out with you guys. I have work in the morning, but I didn't want to get off here because it was super fun.
I'm in the same boat. Different kind of work, but I'm in the same boat. Listen, guys, Jeremy Warfel's Morphs. If you haven't checked him out, check him out. Lucas Landon, Royals, Kai. I don't want to throw around any kind of crazy superlative, but thank you so much for being here. You're legit, man. Thank you. Gershon, you've been at it for 10 years doing this thing, man. We got a lot of inspiration from you. I love watching your lives and your enthusiasm. Let's work together in 2022. Mark, keep up what you're doing with your kids, your students, your breeding. Let's do some shows together in 2022. And everybody, next Tuesday night, me, Steven, and I hope Courtney pops by, but maybe not. She does have some important things she's working on at the moment.
Building a baby.
That's right. Building a baby, much more than any of us guys in this room will ever do. My calendar's over here is why I look this way. On Tuesday, January 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern, Steven and I will kick off the new 2022 season of Proper Royals Live. Everybody, I'm a grateful man. I couldn't have imagined you guys would be hanging out with me on a late night in December. Thank you very, very much. Thanks for all the audience. We couldn't do it without you all. Cheers, everybody. Thank you all. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
See you, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.